Hey everybody, the big before and after. That was amazing. The transformation is something you can't believe. Here you'll see where I am getting my shipment finally out. I waited approximately 2 months, I think it was, before they sent it to me. Just to say it right now, I ordered it from a company that I had never used before. Um, and they don't have Google reviews. I couldn't even find them on Google reviews, but they're an online company. And I purchased glass showers online before. This one came from Glass Showers Direct. I would not recommend them for multiple reasons. One, after they got my money, it took them a little bit longer to get me the stuff. And I think it partially was a mistake by their interpretation of my request. They wanted to send it to me on a certain date, and I was going to be out of town. So I was like, no, don't send it then, send it the next week. Well, they didn't even put it into production the next week, so it took them a couple of extra weeks to get it. So, out to me. So that was miscommunication. But then I got it, and they didn't have any hardware. The install hardware, that's the gold you see on that glass, they didn't have that. I ended up having to order some of that stuff myself, figure it out, and get it. But once that happened, I was having so many issues with them not sending me stuff, and I had asked them for a refund. They wouldn't give me one. They just stopped talking to me basically, and I just kept asking, and they never sent the hardware that I needed. So I ended up ordering my own hardware, asking for a refund, and I had to get my credit card company involved because I told them I'd send them back their stuff, but they never requested any of it back. So I just trashed their crap, and you'll find out why. Because when I tried to install it, it didn't fit. A lot of the stuff was wrong measurements. It was too many panels that were going to be taller than another panel. It was just dumb stuff. So I could not recommend them to anyone. They get a big negative from me. But so here's me installing my first wall panel. And this wall panel, what I'll tell anyone is you put the hardware on, measure it, make sure you get it level, and make marks. That's what I'm doing here. I'm just installing it temporarily. I'm not really installing it. I'm really just setting it up there to make sure that it's all level and plumb, and marking the location for the other brackets. Now, right here, as you see, this is sitting on top of a knee wall. Technically not a knee wall, but a half wall in a shower. And that bracket at the top is really the right bracket, but it's facing the wrong way. Your screws are not supposed to be facing outside, but if you look, the way I have to measure off of this wall, the door to the shower would be coming. And if I move that bracket and turn it so that it's facing inside the shower, that would move that wall back, and the bracket for the shower will be too short. The door to the shower is only going to come up to where that glass is placed now, so I have to place it on the edge. So if you're installing your own, remember that this wall has to be on the edge because that's where your door is going to be lined up to, and you have to do it. Now, I could have done a custom cut, had it moved back, it's probably about 3 inches, and then had a custom cut for the door where it would come over this ledge, come over this edge 3 inches, and then be cut out for the lower part. And then when it swung, it would swing, and it would be like a little crack to allow the flow. There'd be a gap there to allow it to go around that little edge. Not a pretty looking door. We all like straight line doors, so what I'm doing here is just marking the location of where I'm going to drill my holes to mount the bracket for the shower wall, for this glass wall, the little half wall. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. But anyway, I am marked the holes, and I have a bit, a towel saw bit. That bit is not easy, to be honest. To start the hole, sorry, I lost sound right there. Look, what I was saying was, for those tile drilling bits, you start them on their side and then roll it up and push down to make your hole, because those bits will jump around on you if you just start going straight in towards the hole. So you start it laying on its side, and then you roll it up. And you'll see it because as you're making the groove, then it'll grab. So when you have it on the side and you start it up, it'll grab the tile and start cutting. And then you roll it up and get your perpendicular lines at a 90-degree angle, basically shooting straight down into your tile. Boom, it's a lot easier. And as you see, that bottle right there is water. I am spraying water on the bit, and when I'm doing the flat surfaces, I spray the water inside of it. It's to keep the bit cool, and you have to keep redoing it because it'll fill up with tile material and it'll get warm. The water will heat up, just like if you put it on your stove and you put heat to it, it'll heat up. So I'm cutting my holes. I had marked those holes. That's the reason why I put all those brackets on that panel. It's so that I can set it where it's going to be and draw my marks. So if it's two people, it's a lot easier with two people because they can hold it up there and you can mark your holes a lot easier to get it. Look at that water. Now I will tell you this. Don't go to the store and buy just one bit. You're going to need more than that because you're going to break them. I used to. And honestly, I knew when they were going to break. So I really kind of screwed myself. And I ended up using both of those. So the two I bought, I broke both of them and will not be using them again because of that. And you see, I'm doing this one on an angle. It's kind of using the side and boom, rolling it up. That's how you have to drill your holes. And now just keep water in there and keep going. So this is making the holes. Now the real key to these panels, these bolts that's going in there will help, but they're not really carrying the weight. Honestly, I'm going to put silicone down in there. So once I get it all set up and make sure it's where I need it, which it better be because I've made these holes, I also shoot a good amount of silicone down in there to hold the screw in place. You're supposed to use those little, what are they called? I can't even think of what they're called. The little things you shoot into the holes to help support anchor bolts. You use these little plastic anchors to help hold the screw in there. Put the silicone in before you put the plastic anchors in. I'll just tell you a secret. For me, I don't even put those plastic anchors in those. Because first of all, they don't open up that much anyway. Excuse that alert. They don't open up that much anyway, so I don't care to have them in there. And if you get them in there and your screw is not enough space, you can back them out. So I usually just do what you just saw. See that silicone? Use the bathroom and kitchen brand. It's 100% silicone. You can't paint it or none of that, but once it dries, it's a glue. It'll hold all that stuff in, and that's what I use. I use the screw in there because that's my anchor point. And you'll see I put the little anchor in there, but watch, in a minute you'll see I'll take it out because it'll screw out. I think I'm testing it so I can get it in, boom, 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 but it's going to come right back out, and I'm going to take it out. I was showing you this. Like, man, screw this. So I got rid of it. And so what I'm doing is putting silicone in those holes. Pure silicone. And then when I put my brackets up there, I'll leave it up there. Honestly, within about an hour, the silicone is dried enough that it's holding everything in place. But for this panel, it's the starting panel. It's carrying much more weight. What I do is put silicone all the way around it. So on every edge that's touching the surface, there will be silicone, not just at those brackets, but every edge, which, depending on your manufacturer, they tell you to do anyway, because the glass touching another surface is not enough to keep water out if the water has any pressure on it. But if you got silicone on it, water will not get outside of the shower. So they always recommend that you silicone all the edges anyway. So you're going to do it anyway. So I just put me a nice amount of silicone on it when I'm ready to install, and we good to go. And I let it dry before, like, this is carrying a lot of weight on this side with the door. So before I would hang that door though, I let this silicone dry for about 3 days. As you'll notice as we move forward in the next section, I had on a different shirt and all that because I let it dry and make sure it would cure it pretty good. Here I am finishing the holes. In a moment, that bracket's going to come back in. But so for when that wall panel comes back in and I'm putting those brackets up, what you're going to notice is that I also put silicone on the screws and around that screw head. So the hole that I just created, when I put it up there in the brackets there, I'm going to put silicone up there around that bracket and everything so that my screws don't back out. I mean, probability of that happening is very low, but I'm extra cautious. I mean, it's my stuff, so I do it the way I want it. Now, somebody else, I don't know, I would probably do it even on a homeowner's project just because it's an easy way to make sure that they don't have any issues when I'm gone. Because over time, the weight of swinging the door and opening it will make bolts come loose sometime. And not loose enough to fall out, but loose enough where you notice, wait, my door is not lining up as much. And so you didn't go in there and you tighten it up because that glass door is pretty heavy. So here I am installing the brackets. Always when you install, remember that your screw side go inside the shower. On the outside should be a finished edge, smooth surface, all of that. Everything for me was that way except for that bracket I'm working on right there. Still trying to make it better. It doesn't work out as well up there. I hate that that's on the outside, but that was the only way I could do it. That was the only bracket I could find that would work with it. And here I am testing out my fit, my location, making sure all my brackets are lining up where they're supposed to. The good part about those little slots at the bottom, it gives you probably a 1/4 inch movement so you can move it. So I got everybody, hey look, I got it all sitting up there leaning on the bracket, nothing on either side holding it up. It's just literally sitting on the bracket that I just drilled those holes in. So technically if it would have fallen to the left, game was on. So that's the reason why I'm going ahead and screwing those in, screwing the screws in. Now I'm not worried about it falling, but what I'm trying to do is to line it up. You can still get a little movement right now to take it out of plumb or in plumb, whatever you need. Mine is plumb, but all of my surfaces are not. I was blowing off dust right there if you was wondering what I was doing. So now I got it where I want it. And here in a moment, I'll be coming through with my screws in the back side of those lower brackets. And then I'll go around all the edges with silicone to ensure that it's going to be glued to this panel and we'll be good to go. So that's what you're going to be watching for the next couple minutes. I'm probably going to be quiet while you watch for a moment or two. Then I'll come back in if there's something else. But really right now, this is the easy part. You've drilled your holes. Look, silicone, baby. All the way up the edges and across the bottom. Look, I'm putting it all around that little space right there because inside of there you will not be able to see. But I wanted to make sure it was all glued together. Don't put it so much that you're oozing out around there. Now you see the bottom edge and the front bottom edge. And I'm going to do it up the side also. That silicone is amazing. It'll keep you dry and it'll glue everything. One of the things that people do when they put silicone on, you see how I'm finishing the edge with my finger? A good thing to do is to wet your finger and then go across. Try not to get the silicone on everything because it looks messy when it dries if you got it all over the place. But yeah, I did pretty good with it. And I didn't wet my finger. The other people who wet their fingers, they put it in their mouth. I'm not putting it in my mouth. I don't know where those fingers have been. Anyway, all right. So look, it's been a day or two, I think, at this point. Obviously, this is an old video, but as you heard, I had to wait on so much stuff. Different pieces, different times. Couldn't even install it. But anyway, so now this is me trying to install their door that they sent in that package. This is where I find out I got problems. I'm like, wait. I don't know if you noticed, I have the hinges already mounted. So earlier, I had the hinges. Look, I'm looking at like, something ain't right. What the heck is going on? Maybe it's because it's not tight yet. But anyway, earlier I had the hinges on the door. And I placed the door and that wall panel. That hinge that's up there at the top on that wall panel, I placed it up there and then marked for the hinge at the bottom. What I should have been paying attention to was whether or not clearance was good. It's not. So we're getting ready to see that in a moment. I'm putting the screws on, and when it's finished and I got everything right, I will silicone all of this also, because I want this all to feel like one big panel, and it'll solidify together so that when it moves, it's up there solid. That bottom one right now that I'm working with, that hinge, that's really carrying a ton of the weight because it's on a solid surface, and it's the lower one. Gravity is pushing a lot of the weight on it. But it's a shared load on both of those, but that bottom one is my most sturdy. So now I have it up, I'm tightening them here in a moment. And I'm like, wait. Well, I'm going to be like, wait a minute. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. There's a problem. Is this when I found the problem? I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm looking at it. Oh, giving y'all a view of what it looks like. I climbed over it to get to this side, and I'm looking at my gaps. My gaps are terrible. So I take it off. Something ain't right. So through the magic of video editing, we skip forward to January. Remember that we were in October, and we're now in January with a new door from a local glass company. That door was out of square. It was crazy out of square, and it was too long at the bottom. I mean, it was an inch too long, so I couldn't even open and close it correctly. So I had to get rid of it. And then the other panels were bad, so I had to get rid of them also. So it was just a terrible process dealing with glass doors direct. I would never, glass shower doors direct, I would never deal with them. I do not recommend them at all. Customer service was terrible. I never got responses from people. I talked to the owner, and he just kept sending me back to the salesperson telling me, yeah, we got you. He's going to call you today. And the dude would never call. That company sucks. I couldn't recommend them at all. But I found a local glass manufacturer here, and it took me until January to do it because in November, when I realized I was never going to get what I needed from the other company, I called another local company here and asked them to make the door, gave them the measurements, and did all of that. I waited all the way until January. They were supposed to have it done in a week. They never got it done. They are just as bad as glass shower doors direct. There are Lloyd's down in Covington, Georgia. Do not recommend them. Gave them a bad review. They're the worst, and the customer service didn't help. And they're new owners, so they're not helping that company. That company's going to do bad until they figure out the customer service. But M&M here locally, over in Loganville, Georgia, were the best. I took them the measurements, and literally 3 days later, they got me this door, and it was perfect. They did everything the way I asked them to do it, and I'm happy with what they gave me. They literally gave me my exact measurements, which is what I thought everybody could do. But as you see, I'm happy. I'm installing the door. I was scared bringing that door to the location, though, because I did not strap it down. Dumbest move ever. I made one turn and the door slides across the back of the truck, and I'm like, oh my God, I am about to have a major problem. But I didn't. And I could have pulled over, but me being the I can do this dumb, I continued to drive on and made it home with it. So it's fine. It's not a big deal. I made it. It probably was a little too far to be driving a glass piece that's not strapped down, but hey, well, you know, I got a great price on it. I guess the worst thing that happened is if I screwed it up, I would have had to buy it again. But all this hardware, I just went online and found myself to install it. But the door is installed. As you saw, I opened and closed it. That handle right there, the colors of the hardware on the shower glass are not perfect, but they work. And I forgot to start recording. As you see, that first panel against the wall is already installed. I suggest if you're doing a shower setup like I'm doing, you do that. The brackets that are attached to the wall, you install them a day or two before you do the others, because they can carry the weight while the other one's silicone dries. And the reason that I started those two panels that way is the side with the door, you want to start first, because when you open and close your door, there is a natural spot that your door stops when you're closing it, and you want to line up all the panels so that that natural stop point is even, so that you're not having your door be a little bit in from it or a little bit out from this panel. This second panel you see I'm putting it up, there's nothing holding that except for that one little bracket up there in the right corner. And it's just holding it. I'm walking away from it. Honestly, because that first panel that I put in a few days ago already has dried silicone, it's enough weight to hold it. Now, possibly, yeah, it could fall, but whatever. It's not going to unless you hit it or something. And I'm doing the same thing for this. Why am I doing this? Because I need that whole panel that's turned to be lined up in the right position so we don't have angles off. And this is what we're doing. We're lining it up because we're going to mark, see where my hand is? There are cutouts down there at the bottom so I can put the lower brackets on. The lower brackets is what's going to hold the bottom so the bottom doesn't kick out either way. And those little corner things you see up at the top, that's all it's going to hold at the top. Except for my secret item. It ain't really secret. Anyone who installs this know. You put silicone on the bottom edges and where those glass meet. You put your silicone there. And I do it without taping the area, but I would suggest if you're a DIYer, tape the area. Tape it and then put your silicone on it, and then you just take your tape off and you can't see the silicone. And that's what you want. You want a seamless view so people don't know that those panels are actually glued together with silicone. And you use clear silicone. I thought that was obvious, but I just thought about it. There are a few people who will send a message saying, wait, my silicone, I got it, it's white, and now you can see it. No, use clear silicone. And so this is what I'm doing. I got the door. I swung the door a couple times until it sat where it was going to. Now I'm marking the corner because I'm going to take all these panels down. Once I mark everything, I'm going to take them down. I want to make sure I put them in the same location, and I'm checking the door swing to make sure they're not hitting. The glass is not hitting each other. We're good to go. We're about to be straight. We're about to be solid, making hoes. I don't know why I did that. I'm ignorant sometimes. No, I'm hyped. I'm excited. This bathroom was supposed to take me 2 weeks and maybe total 6 weeks. 2 weeks to finish all the tile work and granite and all that stupid stuff. And then another 4 weeks I gave myself to get the glass in. The glass ended up taking about 5 months, which is ridiculous. But it's only because I had a couple of issues. Now that I have the new glass company, the next project I do, I'll be ordering from them. I'm never going to order from anybody else. I can go in on a Monday and order it, and then it'll probably be there on Friday for me to pick up. I love that. I'm going to use them forever. So I got a new glass distributor. But here I am drilling holes. Real I am. You saw this earlier in this video. The water bottle is never going anywhere when I'm drilling. And I didn't show y'all now you get to see close up. I didn't get to show y'all where I broke the one earlier. Putting it on the inside. Wow, I got smart there. Like, man, it'd be better if they could just see it from the inside. Look at me putting that weight on it. Getting ready to break it. At some point, I break this bit also. But it was fine because I had already made all the holes I needed to make. Once you done drilled your holes, you ain't worried about it. Oh, I broke that one right there. Now I'm putting my last one on. And I need to make 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. I only have 4 holes, and this system is done. Them daggone bits aren't cheap either. I think I paid $17 each, but I will say this. I could have probably got them a little bit cheaper. Probably about $10, $10 or $12, which is what I suggest. And the key to that is Harbor Freight. If you have a Harbor Freight, if not, try Walmart. Those two locations usually have these bits a little bit cheaper. And it's worth it, especially if you're a ding-dong like me who knows it's getting too hot but want to screw that last little bit in so you continue. Sorry again about my voice. I mean, I'm having I don't know if I'm getting a cold or I got sinus issues. Either way, doesn't sound that great on here, I know, but hey, I got to get this video out just to let y'all know. This shower has been completed for approximately about 3 weeks now. So I'm posting this video now because honestly, I was having a hard time finding all the videos. I couldn't figure out where the freak they were. I know I had some, but I couldn't find them all. And I was afraid this was going to be in the wrong order, but I think I got it together. Anyway, here we go. Now you get to see the bracket. I think I showed this bracket pretty good here, where you can see, but it's easy. If you are ordering these, typically the company you ordered from will send you the brackets included in your price. If not, they will be able to help you find the brackets that they made the holes for. So there are specific brackets for the holes. And now I was just showing the screw that I was using. My screw was too long. The one that came with this kit was too long, so I went and found other screws. Here in a moment, I speeded all this stuff up, so I'm moving a little bit faster than I typically that you would see me in real life. I move a lot slower than this. Now I think I went to get the new screws. I did. And like, again, remember, silicone is your best friend in this situation. Look, the glass panel is up. Couldn't even see it. And now I'm silicone in it. On the outside and the inside, baby. And all them bottom edges and everywhere where the glass touches a surface, whether there's another piece of glass or granite or tile or whatever, silicone it. Because that's an opportunity for water to get out from inside your shower. And also it helps majorly support the structure of your shower wall. I don't play when it comes to that silicone. I put it on there, but I put a thin bead so that the water can't get out. But I'm also making sure that glue holding it. So I got that tape right there because all of this is flimsy. The only thing is solid is that first wall, that first panel that's touching the wall. And now, what you see me, that Windex you see right there, I'm using that to wipe off that paint, the pencil mark that I made. I'm using like a red liquid ink. It's non-permanent, so the Windex wipes it off. You can't see it. But I don't like to leave it there too long. So you can look in that mirror, you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure I get the panel where it's in the correct location. And now I'm putting the second one. Looks like I'm lining the second panel up, the one that actually connects to the door. Trying to put enough glue on there. I was debating here too whether I was going to finish both panels right now, because I think I ended up taking that panel down for now until I get it finalized. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm finalizing this from the wall on that. It would be the right side facing the mirror. Facing the shower. See, it's the second panel, not the final panel. Same one we've been working on the whole time. Never mind my random thoughts. But anyway, I'm trying to make sure it's good to go. I'm putting tape on it. I'm letting y'all see what edge I was working on. And that tape, do not worry about that tape. That is actually HVAC tape. It's the reflective tape. It was the closest tape I had near me. So I'm using it, but you can use any kind of tape just to hold it. Now I'm standing and blocking you guys because y'all don't need to see me doing whatever I'm doing there, I guess. Nah, I know what I was doing. See me run my finger across? So I'm checking the silicone to make sure it's smooth and hit. All right. So now we're ready for the final panel. What? Remember, I put them up there and marked them. So I think see me messing with the door? I'm trying to find its normal placement. See, that's how you usually going to use it. You're just going to let it go or push it back. And I'm just trying to see where it normally lands. Boom! Think I got it. I'm going to mark that spot because my next panel, I'm going to make sure it lines up right there. Wiping it off. Oh, major, very important. This is all tempered glass. Tempered glass is the only glass you use in a shower, for a glass shower, because if it breaks, you don't want those big shards. It'll cut and kill people. But tempered glass. But there's a secret with tempered glass. If you hit the edge of the tempered glass too hard, the whole piece shatters. So I'm trying to make sure I don't have anything there, cleaning the surface off. Remember that. Do not just don't handle this glass too hard, especially on its edges. Its edges are the weak spot. So now I'm just cleaning off all that red that I put on there, trying to mark these spots. Some of these spots were in the wrong locations too, which was weird, but I'm glad I kept checking it. Check and recheck before you drill your holes. That's one of the things that saved me. I didn't drill a hole until I knew for sure I wanted to drill it. So I did it. So I think we're about to drill a hole here in a minute. I don't know what I lost right here. Something I didn't have near. Oh, the panel. I'm test fitting the panel again. I had to check you guys. Like, hey, look at me. Oh, I'm going to mark it. Yeah. So I'm test fitting it. Look, I'm putting that little corner piece up there at the top because that's what's going to hold the top. Once I put it up, boom, we're putting it up. Now we're going to make sure we get it into the upper piece. Once I put that upper corner on there, I'm not worried about it going anywhere. Even though that other panel right beside it is not permanently dried yet, I'm still not worried about it. Why would I? Because that wall panel is holding that one, and that's strong enough. And with all the bolts and everything I got on it, it ain't going anywhere. Now, I'm not recommending you do it unless you feel as confident as I do about it. Now I'm trying to line it up because it's not lining up quite right. And I think that first panel is part of the issue because it's plumb, but it's probably about 1/8 of an inch off. And I know you're like, what is 1/8 of an inch going to do? It does a lot when you're trying to measure up and line up your door. And so now I'm having to make an adjustment with my location of this panel. As you see, I'm moving that panel around. See how flimsy it's moving around, man? I don't know why I trust myself with that. That top piece could just lean over. If it leans over and falls into that shower, it's broken and we're going to be waiting again. But it doesn't. I keep it straight. What we're looking at right now is me just marking it. This is all this is me marking it, getting it ready. So we should be good to go here in a minute. I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. You can see how long it's taking me. Well, obviously I'm not going to be quiet for any bit at all because I didn't shut up yet. Yeah. All right. So we're taking it down. We're going to put it back up there. We're going to drill some holes in a minute. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Old boy feeling it. The man look like he been lifting some weights in his shoulders, and the rest of his body look like who done it and what for. I'm just saying. Oh, looked at the camera and was like, nah, y'all ain't gonna be able to see nothing. Let me put you over here where you can really see. Right here, you're gonna get to see pretty good me drilling the holes. I don't know if y'all can look real close. You can see that edge of that glass panel. I love that glass. Look how clear it is. You can't even tell that panel's right there. To the left, there's a glass panel. If you look near the trim on the door to the water closet, you can see the edge of the glass. Other than that, you really can't see that glass there. You gotta look. And I use turtle wax. The spray bottle turtle wax. I use that on there. Look, you see it jump around? But this is the way you start your hole. Look how I got it to the side. Pressing down to the side now. Roll it up. Boom! Got the hole where I want it. That's how you gotta do it. And that's the reason I put that there, so you can see it. Now blow your dust off because it'll just make it worse. Now fill the hole with water to keep it cool. We're gonna drill that hole again and go straight in, baby. You ready? I am. Now, once I got it started, here we go. We're going to do it again. Let's get it started. Inside, start it. Now I got the hole started. I'm going to fill it with water. And we're going to finish. And I'm cooling off the tip, as you see. And if you spray your tip, you'll know. You'll hear it sizzle. So that's how hot it is. It'll sizzle. And it's so hot, if you touch it with your finger, you'll burn it. crazy weight because remember it's hot. And metal when hot gets soft. And if it's soft, then it will bend or break. And you don't want to bend making it cold too. Now, what I really should be doing is pulling it out more. I'm just leaving it in. So I really should be pulling it out, putting more water in because that water's hot. It's probably boiling water at this point. But I've gotten it to where I want. If I had the sound on, you would hear the sizzle. And I'm filling the hole with more cold water to cool it down. Just thought about something. I probably could have put ice in there. I've never done that. Just an idea. It's gonna make everything way better. Look at that smoke coming off. I know y'all think that's tile dust. It's not. That's how hot it was. That water. Trying to finish this hole. Now this was the hard part. Measuring it, trying to get it right, and then making the holes. That was the hardest part of this whole project. Once you got it lined up and once you make your holes, it's it. It's over. Just use silicone, get it done. See, I broke it. And you see how I touched it. It was hard. Now you see back over there behind it, it's got brown granite on those cabinets. That was a part of the original. I have not replaced those because I'm not sure I want to. I don't know what I want to do with that, so I haven't replaced it yet. At some point I will. I think, because when I even looking at it in this video, I don't like the fact that that's got brown on it. It just looks out of place. I might do that same piece of granite that you see me right now making these holes in. I might do that same piece right there. I don't know. But clean your surface. Remember, we're getting ready to put glass up here that could break if the edge is hit too hard or something. So I'm trying to make sure I clean the surface off. So I'm going to go get more cleaning products to try to get it as clean as possible. But that's what you're seeing right here. But I might have to cut some of this down because this is a waste of time. I had to do a page break right there, man. It was just too much. So we're back just finishing up the cleaning to get the surface nice. Look, I sprayed so much water in. I didn't show this before. I'm using a paper towel rolled up to get the water out the hole because I'm going to shoot silicone in there. Again, silicone is our friend in this shower install stuff. So just do the silicone. Do not be afraid of the clear silicone. Use it. Look at them boys' shoulders. Anyway, check it out. Getting this clean, and here in a minute, you're going to see the final panel being installed, getting this thing to the end. Boom. One person can do this job. It'll be a lot easier and faster with a second person. Get someone you can trust who won't drop it, and you should be way better off. Right here, this panel is not level. Well, the panel is, but the surface, that granite surface, I think the structure under the bottom, which it definitely is, because usually granite is pretty level, but the structure on the bottom isn't. So that edge right there is a little bit low. So to install it, it will not sit low. So I got these little shims, little clear shims. I'm going to cut a little small piece off of it, put it right there at that edge, set my panel on top of it, silicone it all in, and we're going to be good to go. Look at this. Get ready to set that panel up there, thinking about it like, man, am I going to have a problem? Is this going to fall? What can I do? Let's see. Let's make sure everything lines up. And that's what we're doing. We're lining it all up and getting it ready for final. So we're just going to chill here. We're going to watch for a little bit. Good job, D. The work is looking good. Detroit D. Is that what that is? No, it is not. Getting them brackets ready. Getting ready to show you all close up of these brackets. CRL makes a lot of brackets. This is a good one. I like it a lot. I've used them before. And everything in life gets you ready for your next phase. When I had to get them in the past, had me ready so I could get them this time. So I'm glad it worked out. So this is how the panel goes together. It's a screw holding them together. So screw goes down into that granite surface that holds the bottom part, and then the screw on the inside you put on once everything is melded together. So I'm trying to get the camera where y'all can see a little bit of a close-up of this. Setting everything up. That's another key when you're doing projects. Try to set things up so you don't have to work really hard to get to screwdrivers or whatever you need. You have it right there close by so you can reach it no matter what. I have to remember that once that panel's up, I won't be able to get to the inside as easy if it's not, being held in place. But in my case, I already got it set up where it's going to be held in place so I can leave it. Silicone, 100% silicone. Here you go. Boom. Right off the shelf. And then it doesn't have to be that brand. Just as long as you get 100% silicone, you're good. Look, here you go. You see me, I'm getting ready to shoot that silicone down in them holes. Fill it up until it comes out the top. That's sure. I make sure I got it in there. Also, if there's any residual water in there, moisture, it'll probably poke back out too. Good. And over time, it's going to dry. Now that down in there is going to take a little bit longer to dry because there's not as much air flow, but it's going to dry. Within 8 hours, all of this stuff will be dry for sure. Cured. Within an hour, you could use it if you wanted to. I didn't. I waited a whole day before I took a shower in there. But I had been taking showers without the door on there and everything. The floor would get wet, but hey, that's life. I let the floor get wet. I have another bathroom in the house. This is not a big house. This is a decent sized house, but there's another one, so I use that one too. But anyway, now I'm putting the panels up. Look at that. You see that screw hole on this side? That's where it's supposed to be because this is an inside shower. When you come in the bathroom, you shouldn't see screws on a glass shower. Frameless glass shower. You don't want to see the screws. You don't even want a frame around it. Why would you want to see the screws? So you put it on the inside of the shower. I'm just opening a box for the next one. We're going to do the same thing. It's got silicone down in there again. Remember, within about an hour, the silicone is dried enough where it's holding, but it's not cured. At least 8 hours before it's cured, I would say give it a day to fully cure. Let it go and not use it. So it's the same thing. This right here I'm doing is exactly what I did on all the other ones. We're going to go ahead and do that. And at the end of this video, you'll be able to see the finished product, what the bathroom looks like, even with that brown granite in the back that I keep seeing just because we're watching this. But then we'll be done. Good to go. No biggie. So I am really going to just chill out because all of this y'all have seen the whole time. So you can continue to watch this part. Me installing the final panel and going to test it. And then we'll be good. And then at the end of this video, that's the little angle bracket that's at the top that's been holding it. You got to tighten those too. Later on, I'll show y'all what it looks like close up when it's being installed on a finished one. Oh, one thing to remember before we go quiet a little bit. These have beveled edges where the glass come together. So you got to make sure you put the right edge over there. The other edge is a flat, squared off surface. This is a beveled one, so that when those glasses come together, they come together to form a corner, a level and even corner. And here's what I got. Boom. There it is. Just got to put the other panel on. We're going to be golden. Trying to figure out now, like, oh, where I got to put, I got to squeeze this little protection, little plastic piece you put on so that when you tighten it down, it doesn't leave marks on the glass. It's like a washer, but only rubber and plastic. Yeah, so here we go. I'm looking for screws that I had put on the inside, forgetting that I had to reach in to get it. Now, if I couldn't get in there good, or if that door wasn't right, I'd have a problem. But we know we was ready for that, so we ain't worried about it. Here we go. Last panel, almost done. Yeah, enjoy. I'll come back here in a couple minutes to talk to you about the final finish. But yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything at this point. Tighten it up just with a screwdriver. All right, folks, we're done. We got it in. It's all sealed up. Well, not completely sealed up, but y'all know what I mean. And right there where the two glass panels come together, remember, I'll put silicone there too. It's just to hold it. But here in a couple seconds, we're going to call this thing done, and we're going to give you a walk around so you can see the finished product, what it looks like, how we are. Hey, and I thank y'all for watching, man. I really thank y'all for waiting with me and letting me get to this point, and you still wanted to see it. I appreciate it. If you have questions, comments, whatever, post them. You can send me a message if you want. Okay, it's me going in. I close the door. That pocket door, baby. Remember, we didn't have no door. We got it. Uh-oh, it's finished. Look at it. The glass doors and walls are in. I don't care what nobody say. That looked like a studio booth sitting in that bathroom, but I love it. I love this bathroom. This bathroom turned out great, and I really am happy that we did it. So thank y'all for watching. Please like and share. And I'm here if you need anything. Well, that's a lie. Don't ask me for money, because that's not happening. Anyway, Contractor Realtor out.